Hey, this is Chris Minh Doky, and you're about to watch a video of my course on being funky on the upright bass. All right, now I'd like to tell you about how I play with click tracks, but in order to explain how I play with click tracks, I'll have to go a step back and tell you how I practice with a metronome, because they're very much related. As you probably know by now, I think a lot about reference points in music, where to place yourself, where you place your note, where you place your mind in terms of the reference points you have musically in your surroundings. The same goes for a metronome and a click track. So that means that when I practice, I don't want to have a lot of subdivisions. So I try to stay away from having a click or a metronome on the quarter notes, all the quarter notes, because having a click on every quarter note is kind of, if you can kind of play in time, if you have a click on every quarter note, that's kind of like walking with a cane without having really bad feet. So you want to be able to have the time in what you play and what you hear and what you feel, and just use the click of your metronome to guide you for how you fill out the space time-wise between the clicks. So I tend to not have my metronome on all quarter notes. I have a tendency to just keep it on every other one. And on top of that, I have it on the offbeat. So I don't have my metronome on 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't have it on 1 and 3. I have it on 2 and 4. And that is because the way I feel music, even when I play, classical music, I feel the tempo reference on the offbeats. So I'll have the click on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And it doesn't matter if it's swinging or if it's straight eights. It's the same thing. I'll have it on 2 and 4. One reason, as I said, is because that's how I feel the tempo. And it's also a reason I do this is because I don't need twice as many reference points to guide me to where the tempo, and I want to be able to play the tempo as it is, with as few reference points as possible. Furthermore, when you hear the click from a metronome, you have a tendency to not play there, not play as much as where the click is, because you're waiting for that click. And that means also if you have it on 2 and 4, you're naturally gravitating, leaving space for the snap when you play. And the more reference, the more clicks you have, the less space you have to play. So I'll give you an example in terms of setting your metronome when you practice. So I'll actually start with having the metronome on all 4 beats so you can hear the difference. And I'll play the same groove, or start with the same groove anyway. So here it is on quarter note beats. And I feel almost afraid to play anything because it's all filled up with. And now let me try to play it with half the amount of reference point and on the offbeat. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's inviting me to play now. So I think you can hear the difference. For me, with lesser reference point and keep the metronome on the offbeat, it's much more musical way to feel it, and it invites me to play. And when I have twice as many clicks, I'm like, ooh, there's no space for me to play. There's only space for me really to play in between the reference points, and it doesn't feel as musical. So that's the way on the basis that I use a metronome when I practice. And it's a good idea to practice everything with a metronome. Not to say that there's something as perfect time, because the perfect time when you play in a band is your common tempo, it's your common pulse. I mean, if you have perfect time and somebody else might have less perfect time, if you don't play together, nobody will have perfect time. So you got to gel with somebody else. But you got to be able to be self-sustained time-wise in what you play in order to gel with everybody else's time feel, especially as a bass player, because you have to function with the time of the drummer, and you have to be the glue between the drummer and the rest of the band. Everybody's timing. You are the glue. So you got to glue everybody together. You got to be the common denominator for everybody. And that means to be able to absorb everybody's time, making it one. And in order to do that, you have to have strong time to be able to do that to begin with. So that's how I do the metronome thing. So now on to the whole click track situation. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to learn more, please read below.